So we have a coffee here. We're gonna drive the perfect line at Indy.
Oh, you got a coffee?
Yeah. So a lot of times when I go to racetracks, I look at marks because you can, and then I look at these marks. I'm like, wonder what they were thinking right here. What happened here is a result of a decision you made way down there, way before you even get to start finish. And a lot of people try to brake too late there, and you're compressed, so you have that big tire contact patch, and then you come up to the top and the car gets light. You're braking and preparing to turn, and there's a lot of things happening. That's one of my favorite corners here. So right here, we're on the line. So the turn-in is before the curb. So where you're actually turning in is right here. So this is where you're turning in. And the thing about owning your turn-in, you want to establish a wheel angle that you can keep and maybe make little adjustments to the tune of a degree or two the whole way through the corner. So right now you're coming downhill. The car kind of gets light a little bit, and you're coming 40 feet down onto the runway, which is 60 feet wide.
Yeah.
So you're off this part of the corner. But right here, it feels sort of uncomfortable, but you got to remember, you have 60 feet of pavement.
Yeah.
So here, right side's all the way to the paint, if you can get to it. If you hit the curb, it's a bad deal here, because you're going too fast and it upsets the car. So this is a curb I wouldn't get on at all.
So you're just touching the white line.
I try to get the tires right across the white line. If you hold the wheel in one place. I've sat with people up there before and showed them where I turn in. They're like, no way, that's way too early. And if you look at it works out. It's because you have 60 feet of runway to exit onto. And it's such a unique corner. So now you're right here. So your job on the straightaway is to tell yourself to breathe and relax. Pull the belts tight, look at your gauges. There are way too many people that get on a track and then they take little short puppy breaths. They're all jacked up on everything. So we're cruising along. There's your 100% rain right there. So, a good place to brake, to start braking.
Yeah.
You can move it down to 400, so you're braking right here. So this is your trail braking. So you're on the brake. You're about 100% on the brakes right here.
Yeah.
Maybe in that car, back it down even a little bit further. But you're on that brake, and this is, while you're turning, this is where you're slowly lifting off the brake, but you're still carrying brake pedal pressure, so you turn in between the 200 and the 100. And where I'm rolling off the brake is right here. This is where I release the brake pedal. So I'm on the brake all the way to here. So that's your trail brake, but it's coming off, right? It's a nice slow lift. So from 100% brake pedal pressure down to 0 right here. And because you've turned in late, you can actually go full throttle right here.
Okay.
If you turn in early, it's all about where's your line of sight.
Yes, yes.
So within reason, somewhere within this zone, if you are on this line, you can start applying full throttle. So a lot of people are, when they look at a lot of the video I've done, they're like, wow, you're wide open full throttle. How'd you do that? Well, it's, if you turn in late.
Yes.
A lot of people turn in early and try to get down to the grass there, and then when you do that, you're like, you're looking over there in the tulies.
As evidenced by the tire marks.
Yeah. So, where you want to apex is right here. Really late. So this is another curb that really upsets your lap and your car. I've tried to use this. You can go you're wide open here.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But
So
if you hit the curb,
go up there, right? So
this is not a 90-degree corner. See how it tightens up and jogs back to the right?
yeah.
It's also 35 feet wide right here. This is my exit right here. Boom. So you're way out here. And then, I do use the curb a little bit. It doesn't hurt, just to kind of squeeze onto it a little bit right here. So you're arriving at turn 4 at an alarming rate of speed. This is one of these corners that you want to use the whole track. So I definitely use some of the curbing on the way in. And you're trail braking here. So you're rolling off the brake right about here. But you got to use the whole track. A lot of people pinch this corner off and it throws your lap time away. See how it's a late apex?
Yeah.
Own the turn in, establish it. let the car come all the way down to the grass. So this corner gives people the fits because you can't see where you're going and you're climbing uphill, so the car is compressing, which is to your advantage.
Yeah.
But it's to your disadvantage at the top of the hill. So there are plenty of people that have gone off this corner because they broke too late.
Yeah.
So you have this big compression, nice wide tire contact patch, and then the car pops up on that ridge right there,
Yeah.
and it gets light, and you fly straight off the corner.
I
What I believe is the fastest is to set your left side tires right on this seam.
yeah.
And this curb we stay off of. This is for when you run Indy counterclockwise.
Yeah.
This curb works when you come the other way. But right here, this where it's gray here, light gray, there's no grip.
Okay.
And as the day progresses, people are moving dirt and chunks of rubber and dust and everything over to that side. And it's just, I mean, I've seen plenty of cars go off here. But where there's a kind of a, like, I want them to actually put a curb here one day, but this right here is your apex.
Okay. That's what I've been using.
This is your apex. So this is, remember I've told you before, you have to build racetracks backwards in your
Yeah.
head sometimes. Right now I'm thinking about turn 7. So what do you need to be doing to be going as fast as you possibly can down into turn 7? Because there's a reasonably long little straightaway. It's a great place to pass in a race, and it drops you downhill 70 feet.
And gives you a little bit of
Yep, there are some people that try to go all the way out to the grass here, which doesn't work because it's Mickey Mouse. It just throws your rhythm off, and then there's an awkward transition from the right to the left. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
If you've got that nice established turn in, every car you drive will come out to here. So you'll be about a car width off the left,
Yeah.
which is perfect. Just throw, you don't need this exit because your advantage now is to stay here because there's a lot. This is a fast corner, as we know.
Yeah.
So here's where people get this corner wrong. This is where you have to turn in. You got to stay out here until
Yeah.
the line starts moving. Just before it, this is the turn in.
Cool.
People always try to turn in early here, and one of two things is going to happen. You're going to go off, or you're going to realize your mistake, lift and brake, and your lap time's in the toilet. This surprises people, but this is how late you turn in here, and then it'll come to you and you realize why when you get through here.
Yeah.
But this is such a cool corner. So you got to turn in right where the paint starts turning. That's your turn in. So depending on the car, I actually try to use this curb just the tip right here, and your exit is all the way out here, almost to where the curb ends. And you can go a lot quicker through here than you think. It seems tight in a car, but when I was watching you guys, both of you yesterday,
Yeah.
from up there, you realize that there's a lot of speed to be had through here. So where you got to turn in is right here, really late. Somewhere from the blue edge out, this is your turn in, super late. And this rewards being smooth and carrying momentum and everything. So I was watching you go through here in third gear.
Yeah.
Second might even work, but second could be maybe not too low a gear, right?
Are you still suggesting a very sharp turn in there?
Yeah.
On that corner?
Yeah. Okay, so not necessarily sharp, but you kind of got to get a little bit aggressive with the turn in, because that some people think that's a 90-degree turn. It's shaped like that. It's shaped like a 7. It's very, very sharp. So your initial rotation in, you gotta want it to get down to that apex. So here, this is your exit. This curbing here is very friendly, so I'm always up on the curb here every time. So that's just more real estate.
Yeah.
So your job as a driver is to open up the radiuses and carry
Yeah.
as much momentum as you can. So I'm always using the curb here. So where I try to apex is right about here,
Yeah.
up on the curb. I use the curb here big time. So I showed Steve this, and I've been playing around with
Doesn't the curb unsettle the car?
No, it helps turn it.
Okay.
Be ready
that-
for a little correction. So most people, because they see the curb, will go straight down to the curb. You
Okay.
can see where the marks are down
Yeah.
there. The problem with that is, yes, it's faster, maybe. Yeah, well, sure. It's faster from the top of the eyebrow down to the bottom of the curb.
But then you bomb the next.
But yeah, what I'm thinking about is three things. You got a pretty fast corner here where there's a lot of momentum to be had. Then you climb over a hill, so I see mechanical grip. As you approach it, you're going to get a wider tire contact patch, which means you can go faster over there than you think, right? Because it's like you have arrow coming over the hill. You know it's going to get light, but it gets light in a straight line, but there's also a straightaway the other side. So what you do here is going to affect what happens over there. So with a lot of the coaching I was doing with the spec cars, the line that I was choosing here was an almost 8-mile-an-hour advantage over there.
Really?
Over the guys that were going all the way down to the curb. So the reason being, so I come right down the middle, and you started doing that too, right?
Yeah.
Right down the middle. Is because you're just simply opening the radius up. So if you're here, the car is pointed over at the trees, but we're already pointing over at the mountain. There's just this awkward correction to be made. It just slows the speed. So your car width off that curb for several reasons. And Steve is right. You can get on the gas earlier. You can take advantage of this compression. But the people that come down to that curb, they just have more wheel angle. So if you can find a way to open the radius, get a few degrees out the wheel, you're going to go faster.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and then when you come straight down to that curb, there's just an awkward little correction, which I like a smooth flowing line through here. Right here, you're on the gas early. So there's two lines here, but there's only one that I feel really works. Your apex is actually not the apex. This is your apex right in front of it. I try to apex right in the front before this. So what most drivers here do is they pinch off this corner and they throw away a lot of time. Because it's uncomfortable. That's the main reason it's uncomfortable. People, they have no idea where they're going. You're just looking at clouds. So if you've established your line, hold the steering wheel and just trust it.
And look at that pole.
Look at the pole. But most people pinch it and will run down the right side. There's so much momentum here. You want to open the wheel. If you take degree out of the wheel, you're going to go faster. So these drivers that pinch off the corner, so this is where I try to land right here. So this is obviously we're accounting for trail brake. So this is a big trail brake. I'm on the brakes still on the brakes all the way down to about here. But the apex I always try to look for is right here, where the grass starts to grow. A lot of people, because they see curb, they're like, "Oh, I gotta go up to the curb." This corner, if you are on this line, hold the wheel in one place, and it all works out for you. So you only want to come out to the middle. So you come out here to the middle. If you hold the wheel and shift, if the car is telling you shift me, then you shift. And depending on the car, I try to go right over the tip here, and I still hold the wheel in one place. So again, depending on the car, there's a bit of a bump here. So some of the aero cars, there's a pretty big shock to the system. Somewhere we were starting from the very far left to the very far right, and what was consistently a 1/10 of a second faster was to go right over the middle. What's the fastest way through here? Into a corner called Patience. So what I've been doing, these lines are it, is over the middle, slightly biased to the right with a little angle to the right. And the advantage here is, in my opinion, is a real estate thing. The people that are way far to the left versus who we are right here and where we are right here, it's just a matter of the cars coming over the hill at the same time and both turning in like this. This vehicle here would have the advantage just because we're using less real estate. And if we're going into a corner called Patience, that's this slow anyway, why not get in there and just get out of there and use less real estate on the way in? So that's right over the middle. It's been
right in the middle and stay in the middle.
Yeah, then just stay right here. One car width off this yellow patch right here. As the wheel opens up in your hand, start feeding on the power. I mean, you should be full throttle right here. So your apex, so honestly,
this is where we went to apexing because
of water. But now we're right here. So this is where your apex is.
Okay, cool.
And then through your eyes, I'm looking at actually the front of this curve. So this is just bouncing off right here. And then the second blue square away from the front, I always try to catch this just out of my peripheral. The second blue square is where you start sending it in. But see, this is going to be a late apex. got to be late, all the way to the second square. And you want to exit all the way out here. This is a very important corner to get right. So you want to get it in. Where I try to apex is right here. So you want to be right here, looking at the tower. So basically, I try to run the right sides right across here. So this is where you want to be. The people that turn in early, if you end up over there, this is a bad deal because there's grass, there's a wall, and things are just Mickey Mouse. Right here, I think he's going to run the Mustang. That's cool. Is where you want to be. Then there's one curve at Indy that you would never want to hit. It's this one.
Yeah.
This
But
curve.
you have to be close to it.
You got to be close to it.
Yeah.
This is one you don't want to hit.
That's good though, because that cone is what makes you want to avoid it.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Because if you pop that, then you're into
Oh yeah. So here, you kind of want to be right about here. Not all the way over to the right, but right about here.
Yeah.
And you're not really braking.
Trail braking is important here again, right?
Yeah. But start braking right about here. But where you want to apex is the second yellow square or patch from the end. So this right here. See?
Yeah.
Right there. That's your apex. And what you never want to do is actually use the curb or get on the curb here on the right.
Yeah.
If you're having to use the curb on the right, it means your car placement is over here.
Yeah.
You kind of want to make a nice flowing set of S's out of this. So you don't want to get on that curb. This right
Take it
here,
easy.
this is your apex, and this is where you're also off the brake at the same time.
Okay.
You're braking all the way up to here and then using this as an apex. And then you just kind of want to do like a kidney bean shape for this. So you know where you're turning now is before the curb. That's all the way out here.
Yeah.
So you're just finding a way. This is all one, it's all really one turn before the curb. So let's see if it works with a golf cart. I'll hold the wheel exactly here the whole time. All right, little correction. You see, ideally,
Yeah.
over the white line.
That's better.
And then here, start getting on the loud pedal.